Hey everybody, this week I want to talk about IEPs and IEP meetings and also 504s. So, since I started at the internship at the elementary school, I've been to three IEP meetings. Um, One of them I don't meet with the student often, so I don't really have much feedback for that IEP meeting. But the other two, I work with one of the students every week. He's the boy that I've been going to recess with, and a girl that's in kindergarten who is really struggling. I see her once a week, but I don't meet with her one on one. I just help out in the classroom when needed. So I guess what I wanted to talk about is the the IEP meeting for the little girl. The school psychologist did her own testing, um, and then the parents also hired an outside psychologist who did her own testing. And come to find out, and they said they do like different testing, but it's also it's not that different. Come to find out, our school psychologist found that her IQ was 20 points below the one that she did with this outside psychologist. So that was something that was of huge concern. We were like, what's going on with this testing? We weren't sure if it was one of the psychologists messed up or what. And the parents were just super confused as well. And then for the other IEP meeting, with the boy that I work with every week, he should have been qualified for an IEP for emotionally disturbed, and he fit. There's 5 criterias. You have to fit at least two, I think it was, and he fit 4 of them, but he didn't qualify for the IEP, and so it's just concerning to me and the school counselor and the vice principal, because us three work with him consistently, and the teacher as well. And we're like, how, like, that doesn't make any sense. This boy should have an IEP. Why doesn't he have an IEP? And so, and then it's just the mom, and the dad was on the phone, he was on the conference call. I just feel like, I don't know, like, I feel like it's just wrong information given to the parents. Like, you go and see the school psychologist, maybe they do some observing in the classroom, and they read the incidents that this child has had, or any child, and then they do their own testing in a one-on-one setting, and then they determine, oh no, well, he doesn't qualify, but he does 100%. And so I guess it's just, I feel like sometimes, so what ended up happening was he qualified for a 504. The school counselor, who's my field instructor, runs the 504s, and she's like, he will qualify for a 504, which is kind of like an IEP, but not. It's not as I guess serious. He won't have that diagnosis of emotionally disturbed. Um, and so I don't know. I just feel like I was confused by that IEP meeting and the other IEP meeting, when you had 20 points, difference in an IQ. Whether, I don't know how much that matters or not, but it was strange, and I just feel like the school counselor also has a good relationship with the boy's mother, and she wholeheartedly, excuse me, thought that it was just wrong information given to the mom. And so I don't know, I just feel like we want to best support any child that comes through our office, obviously. And I feel like, are we not supporting him the best we can because he doesn't have this IEP, or is it for the best? Another thing we thought of, and that the answer actually hasn't been we haven't found an answer yet. If he had that diagnosis of emotionally disturbed, which we believe he does, and he needs support with that, our concern is when he goes to a different school if he goes to a different school, they'll see he just has his 504, but they're not going to know any of the history. I mean, they could always, call the school if they wanted to get, his records, but he's not going to have that label, that diagnosis. And so that's our concern. When he goes to another school, they're not going to know him. They're not going to know what's going on in his head, and how to best support him. But what we were thinking is, if he has that IEP that says emotionally disturbed, and he can get retested every in 3 years, and say, say he did qualify for emotionally disturbed, which again we believe he does, and he, after 3 years, retested and doesn't, and is not emotionally disturbed, no longer has it, would that stay on his record? That one emotionally disturbed, would it stay on his record, and would it affect him later in his life if he wanted to join the military, which he's from a military family, and I think the military would actually be really good for him, or police force, or FBI. If he did have this IEP, emotionally disturbed, and he did retest in 3 years, and he didn't have it, he got better, and we decide no, he's not emotionally disturbed, would that stay on his record? I don't know if anybody is expert with IEPs. And say he did get qualified for emotionally disturbed, and he continued to have it, would that affect him getting a profession in the military? And again, we're talking about a kid that's in 3rd grade, but it's interesting because we're like, man, we feel like the IEP would best support him, but then we think down the road, well, if he has this label and he doesn't completely qualify for it from the school psychologist point, is that the best for him? Because down the road, if he goes to decide to join the military, would it be best for him that he doesn't have that label? So I don't know. It's just, oops, sorry. It's just a lot to process, I think, and I don't know. I feel like kid goes into a one-on-one setting. Sorry, this video is kind of long. The kid goes into a one-on-one setting and gets all this testing done, but he's completely different in a classroom or with his peers, or with his teacher, So it's just kind of just a thought, I guess, that's been going around, that's been staying with me for the past 2 weeks. But if anybody has been in IEP meetings, or is an expert with IEP meetings, I'd love to hear your opinion. I guess I'm just kind of rambling at this point, but yeah, that's my video for this week. Just kind of misdiagnosing, possibly, and what is best for the child, how to best support a child. So yeah, thanks guys. Have a good week.